Hi, my name is Albert Rokicki. I'm an independent stock market analyst from Warsaw, Poland. In today's episode, I will tell you about top 5 game dev companies listed on Warsaw Stock Exchange. Obviously, they are top 5 in my opinion. They are top companies of the game dev industry here in Poland, but listed on the exchange because we got also companies which are not listed yet, like Techland, that was recently taken over by Chinese giant Tencent. But we will discuss only listed companies. So let's start off with the most famous, I would assume, CD Projekt or CD Projekt. Obviously, they are the producer of the famous Witcher 3 or the whole Witcher saga, and also Cyberpunk 2077. And they got a big launch of the huge expansion of Cyberpunk 2077 called Phantom Liberty. So let me show you the chart of the company. Price on Warsaw Stock Exchange. This is a weekly chart, and the price is obviously in Polish zloty, denominated in Polish zloty. The currency exchange at the moment is about 4.3 Polish zlotys for $1 American. So you have to really divide the current price by 4.3. So let me tell you now, it's about 155, the current price, divided by 4.3. It's about $36 and some change, some 5 cents. And but it really doesn't matter. What really matters is the market cap, and the market cap of this company at the moment is about $3.6 billion. At the peak in 2020, it reached about over $10 billion. So in dollar terms, the company lost about 64% from its all-time high in terms of the value. And you can talk about the opportunity at the market, because it's about, as I mentioned, 65% of the all-time highs. And the low was in September last year at 79, 80 Polish zloty. So as you can see, the performance is quite upward recently. And the most recently, I would say, is consolidation. You can see, you can call it triangle, you can call it very prolonged consolidation, and exhausting also. But as you can see, the price is defending this crucial level of support. Previously, it was the resistance level at around 147, 150, maybe psychological round level of 150 is the point. But now it looks like it's going to break. In my opinion, there is high probability it's going to reach this level I show on the chart, which would be, in my base scenario, it would be another resistance level about 2.5, 2.10. And these are the tops, these are the peaks of the monumental consolidation from year 2021 and the beginning of 2022. It makes it very important level, and in my opinion, it's going to be very important resistance level. So it might work. It might works as a resistance later on, but for now on, it would be the target. You can call it also a take profit target if you want to invest speculatively for the premiere, and the huge expansion is releasing is going to be released on September 26th. And now I can show you the Steam database. These are some charts they are showing here, and obviously the 26th, I believe is a mistake. It's going to be 26th of November. Let me go to the store for a while. Yes, they got mistake in the system, and this is 26th of September actually. So under 2 months, under 2 weeks. Sorry, it's I recording this video on the Thursday, September 14th. So it's less. It's less than 2 weeks, because 26th on Tuesday. So actually not too much time, but as you can see, it's the expansion is on 24th place in global wish list, and they are exactly the same 24th in top sellers at the moment, because you can buy this expansion in pre-order right now. So I have to admit I'm a little bit disappointed by the performance just under these 2 weeks to the big premiere. I was expecting something bigger hype for this premiere. Maybe Starfield launch deteriorated this performance. Probably that was important event. It's never a good idea to launch right after such a big blockbuster like Starfield, but let's see what happens, because CD Projekt is known for very effective marketing, so I expect they are going to boost the marketing activities, and maybe some release trailer is coming up in the near future, and obviously they're going to be some previews of journalists and YouTubers from all over the world. They are waiting for the right time to cover. I think the same as previously with Cyberpunk. It was just a few days before the release that actually the first previews were shown, and I keep my fingers crossed, obviously, because it's the biggest launch of the Polish game this year. So let's see what happens. And the next company I would discuss is 11-Bit Studios. They got their own games that are going to be released in the first half of next year. Actually, I'm talking about The Outers, and also obviously about Frostpunk 2, the sequel of the most famous game of 11-bit, which is a strategy game, and it's going to be released, as I said, at first half of 2024, and they are now at 7th spot of the global wish list. So these are their own games, those two I mentioned, The Alters and Frostpunk 2. But let me focus your attention of the two games they are due to come in this year. The Thaumaturge, which is kind of turn-based fight RPG made by Fool's Theory. This production is not made by 11-bit themselves. They are just publishers. And Fool's Theory is famous for their first game, but also they were working producing Baldur's Gate 3. and they were working in the work for hire model, and they didn't announce the exact date of the premiere, but we can expect it anytime soon. And the other game that is scheduled for this year is the Invincible, and this is especially interesting game from my perspective because it's based on Stanisław Lem, one of the most famous science fiction writer of all time, and Invincible is actually the title of one of his books. So I'm very hyped. I'm very eager to play this game. Actually, it's a walking sim actually, but walking sim of very high quality. The free demo was available on Steam. Actually, two demos, and they were very well received. And in case of the Invincible, the date of the launch is already established. This is November 6th, so 2 months to the premiere. And let me just take a very quick look at their chart. Starward Industries, they are also listed on Warsaw Stock Exchange called New Connect. It's a smaller market for the smaller companies, but they are going to move to the main Warsaw Stock Exchange later this year or at the beginning of the next year. So probably they benefited. They will benefit from this, but so far this is the nice correction at the moment. They probably about over 30% of their highs at 130 zlotys, and the price is in very interesting spot because it just arrived at a simple moving average of 45 weeks. This is 45 simple moving average. This is weekly chart. I should have mentioned this before. And, I hope the price would bounce back and regain the uptrend that they began in June last year. That was a nice run up from 40, 46, 50 zlotys as high as for 130. And so if you consider the speculative play before this launch of the Invincible, I repeat that the launch of the Invincible is planned at November 6th this year. So it's less than 2 months actually, and statistics showing that game dev companies, I'm talking about the Polish game dev companies, obviously, they are gaining right before the launch date of their games, but unfortunately, right after the launch, their prices dropping, or they go into long consolidation, etc. So statistically, the investor got a chance to make some money right before the premiere, but obviously every rule got some exceptions, and obviously you have some exceptions in the past, but you can really count them on the fingers of one hand, as I can call it. So it's like 1 out of the 100 cases. So every rule gets some exceptions. It might be the exception of the rule. Who knows? Let's see what happens. And now I can show you 11-bit studios chart, because we talking about 11-bit studios. Starward Industries is just the company that they're publishing the game. This is TradingView. The ticker is 11B actually. And what we can see here is that the price reached all-time high in early July at 743, and now now that the price is in the correction phase, and I have to honestly admit it looks very weak, because it struggled to regain 15 weeks simple moving average. It lost, and it's going down. So I cannot rule out the scenario. Actually, it's my base scenario that we will have some additional drop to reach this 45-week simple moving average, SMA 45. This is also a weekly chart. But you never know. It's a stock market. It's unpredictable in the short term. In the long term, it's a very good company. So you can invest, especially long term, because as you can see, if you invest, let's see, 2000. I'm not talking even, the post IPO times, like 2012 or something. This is the huge gap right after the big success of the game called This War of Mine. That was a big surprise, blockbuster hit that nobody really expected, and that was one of the few exceptions of this rule I was talking about earlier. Right after the premiere, that was a huge gap. You can see plus few hundred, plus actually 500%. So I would not expect anything like this to happen again. But you never know. Life is unpredictable. Stock market is also very hard to predict, especially short term. But in the long term, you see, it's like a dream of investor kind of company, kind of stock. And so this is 11-bit studios. Let me check the current market cap for you. This is a nice portal you can use to check Polish stock market, Polish stocks. Is stock.pl, stuk.pl. So I can recommend it. Current market cap is 1.6 billion zlotys, and you have to divide it by 4.3 in order to see the current valuation in American dollars, which is $372 million. So kind of cheap for American standards, for international standard, I would say. So obviously, it's not the recommendation. Please don't make any decision based of my views, of my analysts. It's just educational stuff here, just the educational material. I'm not here to convince you to or talk to into any investment to buy or sell any stock. So this is 11-bit studios, and I show you this Frostpunk 2 game. It's a sequel of this famous, one of the best strategy games of all time. Let me see on the charts here, over 90,000 followers, and as I mentioned before, they got 7th place in the global wish list. So nice achievements. Is the best Polish game, the highly anticipated premiere. But as I mentioned before, the launch is scheduled for the first half of next year. The exact date is not established yet. So this is 11-bit. Now Playway, and Playway also got their big sequel of House Flipper game. That was the biggest success of this company so far. Maybe Car Mechanic, both Car Mechanic 1 and 2, also two parts of this game was a huge success. But in the recent years, I would say this House Flipper was the blockbuster they are most famous from. And all-time peak, 13,000 people were playing at the same time. Probably they sold close to 3 million pieces of this game based on Steam reviews, close to 5 million. And so let's see how the House Flipper sequel is doing. Oh, this is it. Let's take a quick look at the main page on Steam. The date is scheduled on December 14th this year. Developers Frozen District. Also, I should have mentioned that Playway is a huge company. It's I would say even conglomerate, I can call them, consists of over 100 other companies. So Frozen District is just one of these many companies that Playway got in their capital group. So let's get back to Steam database and look at some charts. They got over 27,000 followers, and they got 29th place in the global wish list. You see it's growing steadily. So this is the biggest premiere of Playway company. Let me check the market cap of Playway at the moment. The market cap is 2.7 billion zlotys, and if you divide it by 4.3, you got $627 million at the moment. PE ratio is under 25, and but obviously it doesn't count at the moment. It's all about the new releases, about House Flipper 2. If House Flipper 2 is even moderate success, this PE is going lower and lower. It's probably going to 15 or even lower, more attractive for the investor. And let's see at another company worth mentioning is One More Level, and their big launch is Ghost Runner 2. Also the sequel of this game, Ghost Runner. And if you look at the chart, 11,000 people were playing 3 years ago, and they probably sold close to 3 million pieces based on reviews, just on PC version, not to mention consoles. And they are just they're going to release the sequel, as I mentioned, Ghost Runner 2. Let me show you the charts of them on Steam database. 7.5 thousand followers. They are now 156 on wishlist and 918th on the global top seller games, because you can buy pre-order. You know, this as you can buy also pre-order of Phantom Liberty. So you can buy the pre-order of Ghost Runner as well. And they got their launch schedule on October 26th, just 1 month after Phantom Liberty. And even if you look at this key art here with some yellow color, it resembles me of Cyberpunk, and even the the art style of this title, Ghost Runner 2, it resembles me much of cyberpunk art, and they definitely want to look alike. And it's not the coincidence, in my opinion, that the premiere is exactly 1 month after the big expansion of cyberpunk. Keep my finger crossed, and obviously, as for every Polish game dev company, but if you look at the chart, it's one more level. Here it is. If you look at the chart, they are climbing back from the lows of bear market. The low was June last year, and now they doing pretty well, because the price defended simple moving average of 15 weeks. It's also weekly chart. Nice performance this week, because they went from the low to this level over this key resistance. In this case, resistance of this simple moving average of 15 weeks, and probably you never know, but you cannot be sure about future behavior of the stock. But this is the high probability that there will be breakout, and they will continue to grow to the launch of the Ghost Runner 2. As I mentioned, the statistics are in favor of investors in general. As I mentioned before, the prices are growing to the premiere date, and right after the premiere, statistically they are going lower. So, but let's see what happens, because there were some exceptions of this rule, obviously. And last but not least, Creepy Jar, and the founders of this company derived from Techland. I mentioned before that we got huge Polish company, but not listed on the stock exchange. This is one of the few big companies. They are not listed yet, but as a matter of fact, they were taken over by Chinese giant Tencent recently. People say that the valuation is about $3 or even $4 billion. Oh, sorry, it's not that high. Maybe about 2.3, 2.5. Sorry, and it's much lower than the Projekt. Even though they had huge successes, Dying Light and Dying Light 2, but they are not close to the valuation of CD Projekt. It's about half of CD Projekt, they say, the least. So Green Hell was a huge success. They got cooperation mode, and if you see the charts, 20,000 peak of players 4 years ago, and they sold way over 4 million. They probably crossed, I'm not sure, but they probably achieved 4.5 million mark altogether with the consoles. This is the statistics of just PC, and they are working on the new game called Chimera, or Chimera in English, and the release date is not established yet. The current status is coming soon, but I would not expect this game sooner than the second half of next year. And we're talking about early access. Even we're not talking about even the full release. That is my base scenario, obviously. And if you look at the charts, they got over 5.5 thousand followers, and they are, way far in wish list at the moment. But the marketing campaign didn't even start seriously yet. But they just released the trailer, or not even trailer. It was rather a teaser, in my opinion, very short video. You can find it on the YouTube. It's called Chimera, and it's going to be another survival game similar to Green Hell, but in the science fiction settings on the foreign planet, and it's based on very popular sci-fi novels, I think Chinese of Chinese author, and I believe the Netflix series is now being filmed. So it's going to be some hyped, obviously. But as I mentioned, this game is not going to be released earlier than second half of next year, probably. Maybe even first half of 2025, but it's worth to be patient with regards to Creepy Jar, because this company is, in my opinion, one of the best game dev companies in Poland, definitely. And if you look at the chart, they unfortunately broke the simple moving average of 45 weeks, and you see this cross. This is not a good sign, actually. But on the other side, the stock is cheap because of this technical situation. And the big reason of the downturn of the price is that the employees were rewarded by the stocks in stock option employees program, so-called ESOP. So doesn't really surprise me that right after even the announcement of this motivation program, the price collapsed. But you can really take it as an opportunity of the market, of the market is not effective, as Warren Buffett says. It's not, unfortunately, in the short term is voting machine, and in the long term is weighing machine. So in the long term, I'm positive that the price will go up after some employees cash out. It's natural. Is the reward after the hard work on both Green Hell and now Chimera. So I understand that completely. And so we got all of these 5 companies covered. It was a great pleasure to talk about these 5 game dev companies. I think, I hope it's interesting for you. You can invest in Polish companies, not only game dev companies, but in general, using XTB broker. The link, my affiliate link to open the account, is in the caption, in the description below. And also, please subscribe my channel if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful for you. If I kind of getting interested in Polish market, Polish stocks, if you want more, just subscribe and follow me on Twitter as well. My Twitter account is also in description notes. So thank you for now. Best regards. See you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.